Okay, so this is the third video of how to make Pong using Scratch. Now in this tutorial we're going to introduce our ball to the game. Now obviously the ball should randomly move around the screen. Okay, it needs to be random, otherwise that will take the complexity out of the game. Okay, so first of all we need to add our ball. Now for this I'm going to use one of the pre-made sprites. So I'm going to go over to import sprite. I'm clicking on the folder this time. Click on the folder. Okay. Now when you get to this menu, which it should bring you up at, go to things, and inside things I'm going to select the baseball. So double click when you've got the baseball. And at the moment the baseball is far too big, so make sure you've got your sprite selected in this window. You're going to go up to costumes in the edit box in the middle. I'm going to click edit. Okay, and in the edit window these are the two tools that let us grow or shrink our sprites. So I want to shrink this to make it quite a bit smaller. I think that should be okay. Click OK. It's a little bit too big, I'm going to give it one more shrink. Okay, so oh, that's the wrong way. There you go, that should be perfect. Yes, that's fantastic. Okay, so now we've got our ball. What we need to do now is program it to move in a random fashion. Okay, so I'm going to go to scripts. Now we want this to happen as soon as the green flag is clicked, because we want the game to start. So when green flag is clicked, we need to now say where we want our ball to be positioned. Okay, so I'm going to go to motion, and I'm going to move, go to X and Y. Now remember, X and Y stand for coordinates on the screen. So if we set it to go to X0, Y0, that will take us right bang in the middle. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is we want our ball to move off in a random direction. Now as I said before, if we don't have it doing this, it will always move in exactly the same way, which would make the game boring and pointless. So I'm going to go to, and we want to use pointing direction from the motion window. But at the moment we've got pointing direction and it's saying point to 90 degrees. Now we don't want this, we want to use a random number. So where I'm going to go up to is the operators window. So click operators, and I'm going to drag, pick a random number out here. And I'm going to drop it into the 90 box. So I'm dropping it onto the 90 box. I'll just make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Right, I want to set it to pick a random degrees between, let me think, 45 degrees and 135. Okay, so it should always tip off in a random direction. Right, we've got where we're going to position our ball at the start and to point it in a random direction. The next thing we need to do is to factor in our movement of the ball. So I'm going to create this as another loop, like what we did with the paddles, but this time I'm just going to use the forever clip. So drag out the forever clip. Okay, we need our motion in there, so we need it to move so many steps. Now I'm going to set mine to move to 5 steps because I want it to go quite slow to start off with. Okay, now at the moment if I run our ball it should just keep moving, but it will move straight off the screen. So let's have a look. No, where you going? Come back, come back. Okay, but what we need to do is when it hits this edge we need to make it bounce off. Okay, so we need to add if on edge bounce into our forever loop. So let's just have a quick run through the code. We've got when the green flag is clicked, move to position 0, 0, which is the middle of the screen, then point in a random direction, and whichever random direction it picks, the ball will then move continuously, bouncing off the screen. So let's just give it a try and see if it works. Fantastic. Okay, that is the end of the third tutorial. This is where it starts to get interesting. I'll see you next time.